Here we are again, recapping the latest episode of Married to Medicine. As you can see, still not in the studio, but shout out to all of you that have been watching the recaps that we've been posting during the holidays. As I'm already giving you guys a heads up that December is a very busy month for me, especially traveling wise, and a lot's going on, but you're still getting content. And we'll be back in the studio very soon. But if you missed it, we did post a recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville earlier today. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And we posted a recap of The Real Housewives of Potomac on Monday. So be sure to check that out. Go give it a like, go give it a comment, go give it a share, because sharing is definitely caring during this holiday season. And as you can see, I take my merch everywhere I go. Woo, woo, woo. Available on houseofkempire.com right now. All right. And yes, the Black Friday code still is available for 25% off of your purchase. All right. So let's talk about Married to Medicine, because I feel like this has been a good season, and I know I've been one of the people that have called Sweet Tea Letitia an MVP this season. And I've also said she's an interesting character. You know, we like, this look nice, this look good, I get a little half of the money. Here's the thing. We've said that, but actually seeing people like Heavenly and Quad on Watch What Happens Live make fun of this girl, it feels different because I don't know this girl. And we're reviewing and recapping a show, and this is what she has displayed on the show. But these people are directly involved in some shape or form. They're your castmate, they're your coworker. It's feeling a little weird and awkward and mean with the way that Heavenly and Quad have sort of teamed up against her. It makes me wonder what happened during the season for Quad to be as mean as she has been to Sweet Tea. I don't know what has transpired but based on what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem right. Or what's the point of Quad being as mean as she's been towards Sweet Tea in some of her interviews? All right, let's start at the top because there's a lot to unpack. We get to see their wedding, which makes it interesting. When I think about the timing of everything, I'm just like, wow, we're already at the wedding. So I wonder how long the season is. I just feel like the wedding should have come a little bit later based off the timeline of social media. But okay. But at the top of this, Phaedra gets a visit from Dr. Jackie and Heavenly over at her home. Phaedra's style, when they went through Phaedra's home and they showed her style, I do agree with Heavenly. And look, although I do not love the way that Heavenly has been treating Sweet Tea, Heavenly for me this season has been so critical, so important to the comedy. Her confessionals have been the best of the season so far. It's only, 4 episodes? But I get why people don't like Heavenly, but I also realize that Married to Medicine needs Heavenly in a way. You always need a person like Heavenly on the show. Because I feel like Heavenly is real, but I also think she can be real mean, okay? And real nasty sometimes. And I'm seeing a lot of that this season specifically. But I said this in my last recap of Married to Medicine, the tomfoolery of like a Quad and Phaedra that I'm seeing on the show, this is not that show. This is what people love about Married to Medicine, is that we're seeing these Black professionals, these Black doctors and their families, and the ups and downs of their relationships and their interpersonal relationships. And I get it, it's a reality show and it's on Bravo, and there's a source of entertainment. That's why we enjoy a Heavenly being part of the show. That's why we enjoy a Simone acting, kooky and funny and loud sometimes. Because we all have that, no matter how professional we are. All right? But the clownery of it all, we'll get there. All right. So Jackie and Heavenly asked Phaedra, why did you invite Quad to this bachelorette party? Look, in the reality space, we understand why Quad showed up to the bachelorette party. They were filming a reality show. There's no way that Quad's just going to show up to a filming without being asked by a producer. And I know that's what she said on social media and things like that. Obviously. So, but at some point, producers, Quad, don't you just say to them, well, I don't think that's appropriate. Look, I get it. This woman is marrying my ex-husband, But this is her bachelorette party. This is her, first time being on the show. And I know some people might say, well, that was genius to invite Quad to this bachelorette party. It lasted for 2 seconds, and honestly, I don't think the Quad showing up at this bachelor party landed the way that people expected it to land. There really was no drama. The way that they edited it in the trailer to make it seem like Sweet Tea's over the top reaction had to do with Quad arriving, yes, that made it juicy. But when in reality they aired the episode and they aired that scene, it was sort of like, okay, Quad showed up, Quad gave her a gift, it was all good. Sweet Tea did not give Quad the reaction. I think it was Heavenly was saying that, oh, you can tell that Sweet Tea is a fan of the show. I'm sure she is. She's a young woman. I'm sure she's seen the show. She's been very transparent, maybe a little too transparent about who she is and what she wants and what she wanted from Dr. Gregory. Sidebar, I did see Quad, I think it was on Watch What Happens Live, where she mentioned that Dr. Gregory, oh no, maybe it was with B. Scott's interview with Quad and Heavenly, where she said that Gregory, when she had decided the fight that she had with Lisa Nicole, where it ended up being like glass was thrown and things like that, she had decided she didn't want to be on the show anymore. And then Dr. Gregory, according to Quad, I was like, no, what's gonna happen? And Quad was like, well, people gonna still know who you are. And Quad, the way that you've been shucking and jiving to stay on Married to Medicine, you both wanted to be on this show. I don't think that Quad was so ready to get off of Married to Medicine that easily after the Lisa Nicole situation. But she can spin this no matter which way she wants. But I will say this. I do think that they both wanted to be on reality television. Dr. Gregory and Quad. They were two peas in a pod when it comes to this. And I did question that Dr. Gregory would want to come back to this space and bring his wife to be on a reality show. Like, he should have warned her on and prepared her for what this is. However, I do look at him like, you know what this is. Why would you want to bring a new relationship, a new marriage on this platform in this group? And yeah, he probably didn't think that Quad was going to be on the show, because remember, it was in the last hour that Quad signed her contract. And this is why we don't really get a lot of Quad this season. And although I think Quad being a part of the season, her being the center focus of the season, is because he's back, and it was necessary to bring her back. But when you look at her individual scenes, like the one we got in this episode, it was like, what's going on? I know you all were waiting for a countdown. We're just jumping right on in. Look, we're not gonna jump into a countdown, but if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and be sure to share the video. All right. This is our weekly recap of Married to Medicine, and you're watching it here on the Kempire YouTube channel. All right. So I've digressed a lot. I've definitely digressed a lot, but we're going to move on and focus on what the conversation that Phaedra has with Dr. Jackie and Heavenly. And Phaedra really wanted to make it seem like, well, everyone has been asking about Quad. You all have been missing Quad and blah, 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 blah. We know what this is. Even Phaedra's explanation of why she decided to bring Quad was just sort of like, yeah, this was a reality TV moment, but you can't say it on the reality TV show. Okay, fine. I'm trying to think of what else that I wanted to talk about in regards to that scene. It was really, honestly, what I enjoyed mostly in that scene, despite everything else that they're talking about in regards to what's going on within the group, really was Heavenly shading the hell out of the decor of Phaedra's home and how it was mixed, and then how she tried to throw it on Dr. Jackie, and she was like, "Well, the way you making it seem that you don't like this home," and then in her confessional, dragging the hell out of Phaedra's home and how it's mixed match and the decor. Look, I don't think Phaedra's home looks bad. It is very interesting because look, Phaedra is an interesting personality. Let's be honest. All right. Simone. So Dr. Simone and her family issue this season has to do with her son Miles and him still being in school 5 years later. And she wants to know, what's your plan? He's getting C's. She's like, she's been seeing nothing but C's this season, this semester for Miles. Look, Miles has always sort of like struggled when it comes to where he wants to be, who he wants to be. I'm not going to judge Miles. He's 24 years old. But I do agree with Dr. Simone that on some level they have to lay some boundaries, because if they coddle him too much, he will just take advantage of that. But at the same time, you know who you were in your 20s. You didn't know who you were. You were still trying to figure that out. And some of you didn't figure that out till your late 30s. Maybe you're figuring it out right now in your 40s or your 50s. But of course, your parents are not going to take care of you that entire time. So Dr. Simone gives an ultimatum. We're going to take care of you for 1 more year. But after that, you're on your own. And he's like, when it comes to college? Yes, when it comes to college as well. He doesn't seem like a bad kid. And my thing is, if she wanted to take care of him until he was 30, if he was carrying his weight around the home, if he was doing what he needed to do, if he wasn't a problem at home, I wouldn't judge them if they were okay with it. However, Dr. Simone is not okay with it. She's like, I want to come home. I want to be able to walk around naked. I want to be able to sleep with my husband. I want to be able to enjoy the fact that my two sons are grown and they're living their lives. And I said this last week. I feel as if Dr. Simone is well accomplished. Both of them are well accomplished. Both of them went to really good schools. And she's sort of like, I worked really hard. I would like to see my sons do the same. I don't blame them. Honestly, I don't blame them. All right. So moving on from there, Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea discusses with Dr. Gregory Quad coming to our party. He was just like, why would they do that? I don't understand why they would do that. I'm going to have to talk to Phaedra about that. They also discussed the extra $14,000, and I was right. Johnny, remember Johnny, the one that Phaedra represented in a lawsuit against, or a possible lawsuit against Candy. Messy, messy, messy boots. I wouldn't be surprised if Phaedra was the one who recommended Johnny to coordinate the Sweet Tea situation. Because word on the street, according to Heavenly, the pastor was someone that Phaedra had brought in. So that's part of the reason why Phaedra could not be uninvited from the wedding. All right. But Dr. Gregory does say, and I said this before because Dr. Gregory apparently does well for himself. He says to Sweet Tea, this extra $14,000, don't worry. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Sorry. So she feels relieved about that. They're about to meet her family. We get to meet her family in this scene as well. But before they even get to that space, they're really trying to just kind of make peace with everything that's been going on when it comes to Quad, when it comes to the stress of the wedding, the extra $14,000. So she wants to come into this space with her family. And I have to say, her family is interesting. It makes sense. It makes sense why Sweet Tea is the way that she is. Like, you are a product of your environment on some level. And I'm not judging, but I'm like, oh, didn't it fall into place for you? But we get to meet her family. She seems really excited. She's planning her wedding. This is the rehearsal. We get to see Johnny's there, getting them together, practicing for the wedding. All right. But she also talks about her family's hesitations with her dating Dr. Gregory and how they got together. So she talks a little bit about that. Gregory ends up calling Phaedra. Anyone else notice this? I don't know if Phaedra knew that this conversation was being recorded. I'm assuming she was. But I have to say, the Phaedra that we have seen in scenes with the other ladies versus the Phaedra that we heard over the phone, that was the Phaedra that I think is the same one that collects the money collects the cash in the parking lot from her clients. It's the same one that allegedly didn't know about Apollo and what he was doing in these streets. It's the same Phaedra that was described in that book by a former friend. That's the Phaedra that I got in that conversation, because she was talking real rough and tough with Dr. Gregory on that phone, trying to explain to him why, Quad was invited to this bachelorette party. I was just like, oh, see her tone. Go back and listen to it. Go back and listen to that voice that we heard. I was like, this is not the, ooh, yeah, so what do you mean? It wasn't that Phaedra. It was a different Phaedra. All right. All right. Sweet Tea is getting ready for her wedding. They bring up her friends and family bring up some guy Carlos that she had dated. Remember Carlos? Why would your friends ever bring up someone from the past on your wedding day? I guess maybe because how far you've come and only your friends could do stuff like that. It just felt like weird to bring up. First of all, you know it's being filmed. To bring up an ex when you've moved on and you're getting married to someone else. It's like, I don't know. Like, to me, I'm not sure how I would feel in that moment. Like, unless you're saying to me, like, you remember blah, blah, blah. Look how far you've come from that. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you. All right. So they talk about that. They talk about Sweet Tea and her mom being concerned because Dr. Gregory is actually 5 years older than her mom. But her mom's like, she saw the love between them and things like that. Look, I don't know if I see the love between these two. I can see how this relationship works. I don't know. We've only seen a glimpse of this relationship. Okay. And of course, she talked about how her father took to Dr. Gregory in that moment. Who cares? All right. I mean, not who cares, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you're not interested in those elements. Let's talk about this wedding. So I feel like the ladies, Heavenly, even Phaedra looking at the, not the invitation, whatever you call it, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Her looking through this and seeing the people that are going to be making speeches and things like that, and who's walking people down the aisle. She said, "Oh, looks like something that I would do for a funeral." I just don't understand how you are friends with Dr. Gregory. You're trying to say that you love. We know Phaedra is full of it. But these are perfect examples of how Phaedra doesn't have anyone's back. This is a friend of yours for 25 years, and you're on camera talking about how his wedding pamphlet looks like a funeral pamphlet that you do for funerals. Which we get this real moment with Phaedra talking about, just because you have this big, beautiful wedding. She's like, I had a beautiful wedding to Apollo. Sidebar, she knew Apollo when she was in the 12th grade. Is this the pregnancy math that we're using? I don't know. Maybe they did know each other back then, and then maybe it's the whole Nicki Minaj situation. They knew each other, and then they got with each other later in life. Very possible. Are they the same age, or in the same age range? Huh. That's interesting. Just saying. Okay. Look, I always felt like Phaedra gave us older. Like the energy will, even no matter how many times she wants to be an Instagram model, the energy, the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, always gives older for me. It always gave older even back then. And she was probably in her 30s when she joined Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's just my thoughts. Anyways, so everyone's arriving for the party, and Heavenly says that she texts Sweet Tea, but she never heard back. She's not thinking anything is going on. Also get to see Dr. Contessa is at this wedding as well, looking great. And apparently she was invited to the bachelorette party, but decided not to come. She probably decided not to come. She's like, I'm not going to film if I'm not going to get paid. Don't blame her. I can't blame her. But how did you feel about seeing Dr. Contessa? Seeing Dr. Simone and everyone's reaction to Dr. Contessa, it's like, these people are really friends. Like, they're really hanging out outside the show, even though they're not on the show. Do I think we will see Dr. Contessa come back? I think so. And I'd be open to Dr. Contessa coming back. But I think she needed a minute. I think she needed a little bit of a break. But word on the street, the reason why Anila and Dr. Contessa did not come back was so that they could afford to bring Phaedra on the show. And to be honest with you, I don't know how I feel about that. Because although I was over Dr. Contessa and her trying to rearrange last season, the narrative around her relationship with her husband, I'm sort of like, I'd much rather a real friend be on the show than someone that they're forcing down our throats just because they want to bring her back on reality TV. Just in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. I'm not an executive. I don't make these decisions. All right. So Phaedra talks about the pamphlet. She's shading the pamphlet. She talks about her relationship with Apollo. Dr. Simone is like, wow, we just got a real moment from Phaedra. So all of them kind of interact with Phaedra, and they're sort of like, this woman is not 100% authentic. That's what I'm getting from this. You get this one real moment and it's such a big deal to you. People in your real life, if they are sharing a real moment with you, do you have the reaction, oh my God, they're finally sharing a real moment? No, unless they've been fake, you gotten fakery from them the entire time, or not a lot, or very guarded. Anyways, um, so Phaedra does say that she hasn't seen Dr. Gregory this happy in the 25 years that she's known him. She feels like, Sweet Tea is really good for him. I don't know if I believe anything that comes out of Phaedra's mouth, especially the way she's been moving this season in regards to Sweet Tea. I don't feel like she's had Sweet Tea's back at all. Like she will act like she has her back and then is talking all kinds of mess in the group. All right. The same with Heavenly. Heavenly arrives late and finds out that she has been taken off the list. And she's like, I could be somewhere else. They literally have Alora's uh, prom the same day, but of course they're filming, so she's going to come. She does tell us, I think it was the B. Scott interview, that producers got her in the wedding. They want her to be there. They want her to film. Obviously, I said at the top of this, Heavenly has been so important for this season of Married to Medicine. All right. So eventually she does get in. Oh, we also forgot to mention that it's also Toya's birthday, and she is sort of like, her son is away at camp because it's in front of girls, so he's not calling to wish her happy birthday. All right. I feel like the only person that really has Sweet Tea's back on this cast, honestly, is Toya. So watching Toya be at this wedding, you can see she's having a really good time. Sidebar, and I pointed this out before, I'm going to keep pointing it out because there are things going on in this cast that we're not addressing. Like Curtis, again, missing filming. Oh, he's in the DR? The DR? Curtis is in the DR working on a project. What, Project Divorce? What, like, Dr. Jackie, what is going on? Curtis is not showing up, and this needs to be a question asked at the reunion. Where has Curtis been this season? He showed up for the bachelor party though, so he can have women sitting in his lap and touching when he told you he wasn't going to touch. Okay. Look, okay. Anyway, so here's the thing: the way that they were dogging out Sweet Tea's wedding and what it would might look like, and how they were judging it, I felt like it looked like a nice wedding. I haven't been to many weddings, but I was like, this is not a bad wedding. We've seen some bad weddings on reality television, but this didn't seem bad to me. What about you guys? I thought this was, although not necessarily my particular taste, but it's not my wedding. This is her wedding. And the fact that these women are talking so critically about the wedding and things like that, it's like, y'all are coming across so mean. But they had a good time. They were doing the photo booth and doing all these things that they had at the wedding. I feel like all those things. Look, here I go being critical of the wedding. But this is a recap of a reality show that we're reviewing and watching. But watching them do the whole photo booth, the little circular thing, I'm just like, yeah, that's so overdone. Look, literally, when we were in Vegas for BravoCon, seeing them do this literally on the street, I was like, I'm not doing that. So, like 10 years ago, not even 10 years ago, but I'm just like, are we still doing that? I mean, I guess. I guess they still do that at some of these award shows as well. Anyways, but this is her wedding. This is her vision for the wedding. This is her magical day. Sweetie, do it up, girl. This is your day. All right. Sidebar: we have this separate scene with Quad taking a bubble bath. Oh, this is so sad. Because here's the thing: the Quad stands. I'm like, yes, Miss Quad, she got it. She got it. No, she don't. This season, what has Quad brought besides being a point of the past for them to talk about during the season? She really hasn't added anything this season. Us watching her do her wig, this scene, this episode, we see her taking a bubble bath. She's like, my life is fabulous. Yeah, a life that you don't want to share with us. Rewind. Dr. Jackie addresses Quad. in the first scene with Phaedra and Heavenly in regards to her relationship with Quad. And she said that she used to reach out to Quad, but she stopped reaching out because she had asked them to stop reaching out. This goes back to why I feel like it's time for Quad to get off the show. It's not just because she's not married to Medicine. It's mostly because she's not really friends with these people. She's barely friends with Heavenly, someone that she actually refers to as a sister. There are months that you don't talk to her either. So it's really sort of like, why are you on this show if you're not really intertwined with these people? And I've already said before, even last season, you kind of notice it's just like when Quad was there with all the married couples, it's just like, this feels weird. It feels awkward. And it feels awkward because not just because she's not married to anyone and she's the only single person there. It felt awkward because she doesn't have genuine connections or friendships with these people. And I know recently, I think on Watch What Happens Live, she's like, I really love these people, you know? And I'm just like, no, no, Quad. It's giving fake. It's giving fake. And you're not even willing to share your life on a reality show. So that for me is another quandary that we have with Quad. You're not interacting with these people, but you also don't want to share what's really going on in your life. We get to watch you take a bubble bath. I mean, the bathroom was nice, though. I'll say that. But look, I hate to go against my Taurus sister, but look, woo, 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 look, woo, 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 houseofkempire.com. It says Team Kempire in the back. Anyway, so we get that little separate scene that they keep plugging in just so that Quad can get paid for the episode. Let's plug this scene of Quad here. All right, girl. Look, all right. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Be sure to check out some of the recaps that you've missed already. Our Love and Marriage Huntsville recap was posted today. We also had our Real Housewives of Potomac recap, and we had quite a few Diddy updates to give you. So be sure to check out some of those videos as well. And if you're not following us on social media, be sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Everything is at TheKempire, at Kempire Daily, and at Kempire Radio. Don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire Radio podcast as well. And don't forget to give us a 5-star rating when you take a listen. And the visual version of our podcast for the last episode that we did with Taria from What Else Is Going On podcast, that will be posted when I get back into the studio, or soon, hopefully. We shall see. All right, so stay tuned for that. And be sure to check that out when it gets posted on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe to that as well. All right, so they have a good time at the wedding. The wedding looks like it was fun. Everyone was having a good time. Everyone was having a good time. And rewinding back to Heavenly not being on the list to get into the party, we have a confessional from Letitia. Letitia confirms that the maid of honor, and I said this last week, the maid of honor was there when Heavenly was dogging their marriage, saying like, I don't see it's going to work. You could tell it's not going to work. You see the signs? It's not going to work. Here's the thing. It's one thing to have your opinion. I get it's a reality show, but at the same time, I wouldn't want you at my wedding either, Heavenly. I don't care, reality show or not. If you're dogging out my wedding and you don't believe in my wedding, why should you be there? Honestly, I feel like it's bad luck to have people at your wedding that are negative towards you and your relationship. I would never want that. But here's the thing, Letitia and Dr. Gregory, you decided to film your wedding. You decided to do this as a part of your reality show. So a part of a reality show. So it's sort of like, you have no control over that. But to be honest with you, I'd much rather you not film my wedding. However, they would not be on the show if they didn't film the wedding. Because I don't want that negative energy. You watching my wedding saying, like that, like this is not gonna last. And Heavenly has been on this sort of not media tour. She did the B. Scott interview. She of course has her YouTube channel. And of course she just did Watch What Happens Live sidebar. Quad and Heavenly looked amazing on Watch What Happens Live. See, look, I go twerking on a fence regularly, but I don't think that's twerking on a fence. I can give you a compliment, but at the same time call you out when I don't agree with you. All right? So it's not really twerking on a fence, but some might think it is. Here it is, whatever. I think they look great. I actually like seeing Heavenly with the darker hair. She looks so much younger. I mean, she looks young regardless, for a 50 something year old woman, she looks great. But with the black hair, I'm like, she looks so much younger. Dare I say, looked younger than Quad on Watch What Happens Live. But Quad looked great too. They both look great. But the way that Heavenly has been on this sort of like media tour, really propping up Quad and then really dogging out Letitia, who was recently on her YouTube channel. So I find it so interesting. I don't know what has happened. I don't know if it's because she's seen some of the confessionals that Letitia did, like this one from the wedding. She was like, yeah, my maid of honor told me that Heavenly was talking trash about my marriage. So I took her off the list, only for her to come in. And then Heavenly was being so fake, going up to her and like, oh, I want to wish you the best and blah 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 blah. And Letitia's like, I get it. For Letitia, she's like, I just want to enjoy my wedding. I know it's being filmed, but I want to enjoy my wedding because this is hopefully the last time that I actually have a marriage and a wedding. You know what I mean? So she's like, yeah. And then her confessional, she's like, yeah, just move away from me right now because this is my wedding day. I don't want to deal with you and your fakery. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. And Letitia, I hope you bring that same energy and your receipts and your preparation and that energy without. Okay, let's prepare her, y'all. Let's prepare Sweet Tea for this reunion because they're all going to be trying to come back with shade. I need you to come back with facts. I don't understand why Quad is coming for you, Letitia. You've been nothing but nice based on what we've seen so far. But we need you to come without the temper tantrums, the kid like stomping your feet and we don't need that at the reunion. We need you to hold yourself. Although you are 30 something years old, we need you to ground yourself and hold yourself together at this reunion and speak nothing but the facts. Because although the fandom will be like, Quad, Miss Quad, she got it, no. You are the reason why Quad has any relevancy this season. Let's talk about it. You're the reason. And I said it before and I'll say it again. You are the MVP this season of Married to Medicine. You're the biggest storyline. You're the biggest storyline this season. And look, I do wish them the best. I don't like the way that people have tried to associate, oh, remember what? And I didn't like it when Letitia did it too. Talked about, well, some of the things that Quad said seems to be right. Whoa, girl, you been watching the show? Look, I didn't like when she did that last week. However, that's all the narrative that everyone has been talking about this season so far. And it's only, 4 episodes in. They've been talking about Letitia and Dr. Gregory's relationship and really just kind of poo-pooing it. I just don't want to do that to their relationship because we haven't really seen anything so dire in their relationship to make me believe like, oh, it can't possibly work. I can see how it could work. They're interesting personalities. I can see how it would work. Better than how it would work with Quad. Oh, Quad. Oh, Quad in that relationship. There is, I don't remember where I heard this because I've seen so many Married to Medicine interviews and things like that. But Quad was talking about, or at least Heavenly liked to insinuate that if Dr. Gregory, they would still be married. And Quad did confirm. She's like, oh, we would still be married if I didn't want a divorce. Okay. How is that relevant to today? You guys ended up getting a divorce. You guys have been divorced for quite a few years at this point. How do you guys feel if Quad did not come back this season? Here's the thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, as I am talking to you, they've been talking about Quad. They've been flashing back with Quad. They really didn't need Quad to come in to do what? So far, the interactions between Quad and Letitia haven't really been volatile. Maybe they will get volatile later in the season. But even that, I don't want to see. I don't want to see Letitia fighting with Quad. And I know some of you feel, why in the hell would Letitia move into a man's house that he shared with some other woman? There are plenty of people that have done that. Because in this economy, not everybody can necessarily afford to do, maybe he liked the house. Maybe he was like, I like this house. It's paid for. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. Maybe they're working on, you know what? After we do this wedding, then we'll get another house. I don't know their finances. I'm not judging them for moving into a home that he wants to share with his ex-wife. Some of you have that as your standard, but that's why some of you are still single. Oh, I'm just saying, some of you are out here with your criterias and single. I'm just saying, you think that I'm gonna let that stop me from having a relationship with someone? If if him keeping the house had something to do with the relationship, then I'd be like, but I have to say, Dr. Gregory hasn't really talked about Quad. It's the entire cast talking about Quad outside of him. It doesn't feel like Dr. Gregory is sitting in the past waiting for Quad to take him back. Just saying. But that's my opinion. This is my review. Replay crew, those of you in the live chat, how would you rate this episode? Of this episode of Married to Medicine, how are you feeling about the season so far? Look, I'm not saying that my mind won't change on Letitia in the next couple of episodes. It could, because I need to understand why Heavenly and Quad are really just sort of coming for her. I don't feel like anything that she said so far in the confessionals have been anything derogatory towards Quad or Heavenly. It feels as if they're being unnecessarily mean towards Letitia, who just happens to be married to Quad's ex. Just saying. But we shall see. And I hope that Toya, if you watch this, you will take Sweet Tea under your wing and prepare her for this reunion, so she understands what she's getting into. I forgot who. I think it was the Love B. Scott interview where they were shading. Oh no, I think it was on Watch What Happens Live, where they were shading, because they asked the shady questions. Okay, Bethany Frankel was right. They asked these shady questions, and they were talking about Letitia's fashions, and she was like, "Well, she'll know next time not to, to take off the tag before, coming on here." I'm just like, y'all are just so unnecessarily mean to this young lady. I just don't see where this meanness is coming from. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Maybe I never will. Is what it is. Guys, as always, be sure to like the video if you haven't already. Be sure to share the video. And for everything Kempire, from our merch, which we are having a sale right now for Cyber Monday, be sure to check everything out in the description of this video. Don't forget to like the video. Have you liked the video already? Why not? All right. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. To become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. All right. We're going to get out of here. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week so far. We'll be back in the studio very soon. But like I said, month of December is a busy month. I love Christmas. I will be busy. I got plans this week already. I got things going on, but you're still getting content. I'm still covering the stories. I'm still giving you short form content. Be sure to check out the short form content on TikTok, Instagram, here on YouTube as well. Everything is at TheKempire. And be sure to subscribe to TheKempire in Espanol here on YouTube as well, and the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. And don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcast platform, the Kempire Radio Podcast as well. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget to vote in the live chat poll. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. I know it's a 300th reminder. 300th? What is that? Is what it is. Anyways, I'm tired. Let's get out of here. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you all later.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll ask you.